Hey guys, Chris Dick here. Today we're going to be expanding on our rating system using JQuery and partial controls in our application. Up until this point, we very simply we placed a form within our details view. That means that we can very easily select a rating and then push submit. Just to demonstrate that, I'll go into our ratings control and our set ratings function, push submit. It accepts a game ID and a rank. That runs through, creates a rating, adds that rating to the ratings table, saves the changes, and then redirects us back to the details page. Okay. Now, with that, you'll notice that it changed our overall rating. And if I do a few more of those, you'll see that it keeps changing. Okay. Now, there's a deficiency in the way that is created right now, and that is that because it is taking a full round trip, it may require more time to render that page. In this case, it's not a very complicated relationship, but in some pages it requires more and more time the larger the relationships get. Okay. In other words, there may be a lot of data that it pulls in and needs to use. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a new action called ratings control. Okay, and ratings control, all right, takes a parameter of game ID. All right, it also returns a partial view. Okay, now this partial view is going to be it's obviously a partial view, but it's got to be named appropriately. So if I right click inside my action here and go to add view, what I'm doing here is I'm going to name it appropriately with the proper naming conventions of a partial, which is usually has an underscore before it. It's going to be an empty template, and I'm going to pass in a model of type game. I'm also going to specify that it is a partial, and reference libraries, script libraries, it won't be doing anything for us anyway. But you can leave it checked or unchecked; it won't make any difference. Well, then we will click Add. Okay, let's go see where this thing was created. And you can see here we have our views. Let's just move this down a little bit so everybody can see. Views, then ratings, and then ratings control. Okay. Now, this control is going to replace what is in our details view. The reason is that we want to be able to use this control anywhere else. So we're going to cut that code from our details view and paste it into our ratings control. Okay. As you can see, there's no errors because it's still a game model, which is the same as details. So there's nothing complicated here about it at all. All right. Now, what our partial view of ratings control will require is a game model to be passed into it. So we're going to look up a game model. Okay. And we do that just in the way we normally do. We do a find and we ask for game ID. Okay. And we're going to pass that into our view model. Just like normal, usually this says view, but this one's partial view. Now the other thing that we're also going to do, because this is a partial view, it also requires some specific naming conventions, okay? And if I had just created the view with and just called it ratings control, that would have worked fine, but there would be no indicator that says it's a partial view. As you can see here, just in shared, there's a couple partial views. So we want to keep up with the same naming conventions, so it's identifiably a partial view. All right. So from our ratings control, now what we have is a method of finding the game based on the game ID. Okay, then we pass that game into the ratings control. Okay, it comes down here, checks whether it's been rated before. If it hasn't been rated, it offers the option of be the first to rate. and then continues on forward with our form that we had before. So if we've done everything correctly here, oops, one thing I did forget is we have to add in some code into our details page so that this control will actually render. So we'll go back into details for a moment. Now we're going to use an HTML helper, all right, and you'll notice that I'm putting these squiggly brackets, these curly braces around it. In this type of render, it requires that it be within a code block. Okay, so we are going to render the ratings control. Okay, and that ratings control is within the ratings controller. Okay, we also have to pass in a game ID, which is equal to the model.gameID. Okay, the reason is that that's the only way we can get a game ID from this page. So naturally, it's where it would exist. Okay, let's play it again. We'll see how we do. Okay, so far, our ratings control is still working. I'm gonna let's give it a different rating of 0 this time. We'll see what happens now. So now we're still working. Everything is functioning correctly, which is great. We can now move on to the fun stuff. All right. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we will be repurposing this set rating function. Okay. Most of it will be exactly the same, with the exception of the return type. So I'm going to comment out that, all right, and I'm going to change the return type to a type of rating, okay? So we're going to return the rating that we just created and saved, all right? But in particular, what tends to be missing here is that after saving the changes, it doesn't always fill in game and user. So we're going to ask for that information this time. All right. So in this, we are looking for the ratings, and we're going to include some information. Okay. So from here. Okay, and we're going to include, we want the game. Okay, and you'll notice that we're getting these errors here. There's a reason for that, all right? And the reason is that our controller does not have a using statement for system.data.entity, okay? If we add that, you'll see that error will go away in a second. Okay. And we're now also going to include the user, all right? And we're going to ask for just the single or default based on the rating ID, okay? That was created, in other words, okay? Where it equals rating dot rating ID, okay? And the other thing that we will do, just make this a little bit easier to work with, is I'm also going to ensure that it includes the ratings as well. Okay. All right, great. So with this set rating, it creates a rating, adds that rating to the table, saves the changes, and then we go ahead and ask for that rating in full back again so that we can then display it later on. All right. Now, the next step that we're going to do is make a few changes to the presentation of this control. Okay, right now it's kind of ugly. It just shows a form, and that's not very nice looking. So we're going to steal some code from here, paste it in. We're going to comment out our form, and this is going to be a collection of hyperlinks now. Okay, so our hyperlink is just going to a blank bookmark. We're going to take away ID. It's totally unnecessary now. And we're going to change the value attribute to rank. And then the next thing we'll do is change the we'll add in a game ID attribute, and that will be of model.gameID. Okay, so remember we have a model of game coming in, so we do have a model game ID. All right, the next thing we'll have is the end tag for our A, our anchor. And what we want to do is we want to add a little bit of fanciness to this. We want to make this a star system. So what we're going to add in is some glyph icons. Okay, and each glyph icon requires that it shows that it has a glyph icon at the start. Okay, and what I'm looking for in particular is one that says star. All right, and we're going to add an inline if to this, which basically says if I am if my star is within the range that the actual overall rating is, then it's going to display. If it's not, then it's going to display an empty star right now. So what we want to do is make that that alteration. So here we're saying model dot overall rating, okay, is less than I. So if model dot overall rating is less than I, all right, then we append empty. Otherwise, we have a blank and we just leave it be. Okay. Now that should work just fine. I think what we're going to do here, we're going to play this and we'll see what happens when we play it. Okay, so now we have our rating system here. All right. It doesn't do much yet, other than the fact that I can click on it, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, so now we have, as you can see, I'm at the 8. I'm very close to that, and we're pretty good on what it's showing here for ratings. It's it's telling us that we've got 8 stars, which is just fine. Okay, looking great so far. Okay, now we have to add some functionality to it though. Okay, so what we were talking about earlier is interaction with the set ratings control or set ratings action. I'm going to steal some code from the edit form here, and that's just so that we can include JQuery. Okay, it's a very simple script, and what that does is it appends to the script section of our layout. If I go into our shared folder and go into layout, you're going to see that I've got a section called scripts. Okay, jQuery is added, the bootstrap is added, but what this does is adds the jQuery validation. Okay, now the next step, we're going to add in scripts. Okay, our script in this case is going to have some code that interacts directly with the ratings control. Okay, we're going to add an ID here to this region. Okay, this region here is going to identify that it is the region that contains the ratings control. Okay, now I'm going to go over and steal some code. Okay, so I've got a set of code that I've written before, and the reason I've done that is quite a bit of code to write, so get ready. What we're looking at here now is we are going to set up some functions that interact with our links that are on our ratings control. Okay, now because this is only on the details page, you'll probably want to create a JavaScript file and add it in later on. All right, but the key is that what we want to do here is pull some information out, and I'm going to explain it as we go. Okay, so this function here, what it does is set up a bunch of callbacks so that if I click on one of those stars, okay, let's see if I can pull up my stars. If I click on one of these stars, right now they don't do anything, okay? And but with what I wanted to do is if I click on it, it's going to set the rating. Okay. Now the next thing is that's what this does. It does a select to say, okay, go up to the ratings control. Okay, right here. All right. And then look for any of the A tags with the name rank. Okay. And anything that you find, you're going to set the onClick function to call a function called set rating. Okay. Now set rating isn't set up yet. We're going to do that right now. Okay. Um, okay. Now what set rating does is it pulls some information. Okay. And it pulls some information from the object that's being clicked on. Okay, so right now we have the opportunity of getting the data of game ID. Okay, if you recall, we have this is the data that we're talking about, game ID. Okay, and then we also have another one called rank, which is right here in our ratings control as well. Okay. The next half of this code deals with posting data to the to the controller. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what that means in just one moment here. Make sure we've got all our stuff set up and ready to go here. Okay, so this function here is called post. This is the jQuery function that actually handles performing a post to the action called set rating in the controller called ratings. Okay, the this post has a few functions. Okay, one function that it returns is a done function, and essentially we have some things that we want to do after that function is complete. So I'm going to add in this. Okay. Okay, and I think I'm still, looks like we're pretty good. And then it also has a fail function. So that means that if something goes wrong, then we can stop. And I put an extra semicolon there that I didn't need. I knew there was something odd about it. Okay, so in response to our done, all right, what we're looking to do is add in the functionality that says, okay, now that we're done, we want to reload the ratings control. Okay, and in the process of reloading that control, there's a few things that take place, and I'm going to just paste this in once more. Um, we have the area called ratings control. Okay, and that again is right here based on the ID. Okay, it loads a URL, okay, and the URL is right here. I should have taken, okay, that should actually be in here in our done function, okay. So it gets the URL, and then from that point, it says, all right, execute the information that I get from the URL. So the return that we're getting from the URL of set rating in the ratings controller is going to return a rating. Okay, and from that rating, we are then able to set the information that comes back. Okay, and what that load function actually does is replace the contents of ratings control. Okay, so let's give it a shot, see if this works. Okay, so now that we've got our page up, we're going to actually test it here. Let's throw in a few really low ball ratings here. See what happens. So we are getting a callback. We're re-rendering our page without having to render the entire page, which is really cool. Let's throw in some more higher ratings again. We'll keep going and see if we can get more stars up there, seeing as we just keep adding these nines. But as you can see, we just keep adding up, and it is building up the score. Okay, and it is working. Of course, that's the other part that we wanted to establish. Very nice. Okay. So that's it for this video today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a little bit of a challenging one, lots of code to add in. I hope it works for you. Remember to like and share my videos, and remember to subscribe too. The comments are really important. Please keep them coming, and whenever I can, I try to help out. But sometimes I just can't answer everybody's questions. So hopefully, some of the viewers can help out. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.